G'day everyone, this is just a bit of a bench update. So you probably noticed I haven't put anything up for, I don't know, how long, week or so, maybe less, I don't know. Lost track of time. So I finished off this chibi style or toon style aircraft carrier, which was, I think I showed it previously, that's the box art for it. As I mentioned, I like that style of kit. They're reasonably priced and just a bit of fun, and it's also a way to, if you want to try different things, to have a crack on these types of kits. If you want to try different techniques or something, just, you don't, myself, if you buy a kit that costs you $100+, you can be a bit reluctant to try different things because you don't want to wreck the kit, whereas something, maybe not this one, but the small planes and that, you just try different things, and if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work, no big deal. If you want to try that style of kit, I would not recommend buying this one for your first attempt. It was the aircraft like sandwiched together, and there was, as mentioned, this style of kit's usually pretty they're thick, chunky style plastic, and this is no exception. The aircraft took a lot of cleaning up, and because they're so small and awkward, it was pretty hard to get at some areas to clean up the seam lines. And the ship as well, I think I showed it had like the deck, the midsection and the lower hull glued together, and there was a section in the front of the hull. So it was 4 pieces, I think, or 3 for the main hull. The deck went on top, was no problem, but the transition between those parts, there was steps, so I had a hell of a lot of sanding to make it flush, and then I had to fill in the gaps. I used CA glue. So I'm not saying don't buy it, I'm saying be prepared. If you want to have a serious crack at it, you're going to need a lot of work into it. But happy with how it turned out. It's like I said, just a bit of fun. So my last update, I did the call out for voting for the Mirage, or the Volti Vengeance, that's it. I couldn't remember what it was. So I didn't get more than 10 votes for either one, so there's no choice there currently. I'm not, at the moment, I'm looking at about 2.5 weeks to QMHE, so I'm sort of in limbo at the moment. I don't really want to start getting into a heavily involved build right at this moment. I'm sort of just doing some cleaning up a bit here and there, and working on a couple of resin prints I've done previously, and a new one I'm doing. I've upgraded my 3D printer. I had the Elegoo Mars 2 Pro, but it's got a small plate, so I've gone up to the Saturn Ultra, and it's bloody huge. So I've been mucking around with that, trying to work out settings. Now it's not too bad. It's because I've had one previously. It's not so daunting when you first get one. It took me ages to work it out, but this is my first print. I've got to clean it up yet, but I've done on that the Saturn print, and I did this guy because the other day I went and saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and excellent movie. But I'm a Marvel fan from way back when I was a kid. I used to read Marvel comics, so all the Marvel movies, and I love them to death. So I'm just a big nerd. So I got to clean up some gaps and that on it, fill in with some putty, and then prime it, and look at painting it. Move him out the way because I don't want to break it. So I've been working I did that in the background. Also, this is off my old, well, this isn't, this is a filament printer that the base is. I'm finally cleaning it up, and I got this guy going on, Stormtrooper. I'm gluing it together, so that's why the rubber bands are there holding his arm in position. It's I don't know, it's about a foot high or so. This I printed ages ago. I got that many bloody prints all around. I need to start actually doing something with them. Anyway, that's a different hobby. So these are my everyday shooters for airbrushing. This is the one I use the most the last 2-3 years. So it's the Iwata HP, so high performance, and this is the B plus version. This is the one I was using before I bought this one. I had this one, but it needs a good clean up. So what I'm going to do is I bought some new O-rings and a new Mac valve for this one because it's all gunked up, and I think it doesn't look too bad. A washer. I got new washers anyway, but I'm going to give them this. This is the time of year around QMHE when I'm sort of, like I said, I'm in limbo, not doing much at the moment. This is when I give my airbrushes a deep clean, and I clean them. This is how I do it. I'm not saying you should do it, because I've heard people say, "Oh, don't do that, you'll wreck it." I use an ultrasonic cleaner, like your wife would clean her jewelry in, and I pinch my eye so she can't have it anymore. I'll pour leveling thinner, Mr. Hobby leveling thinner, or not the leveling thinner, just the normal blue version. Pull it apart, put all the pieces in there, and give it a deep clean and get all the crap out of it. And now I've got I bought new needles and new O-rings and that new Mac valve. So I'll give it a real big deep clean, put them back together, and I might use this one again for a while. They're much of a muchness, just this one's got the Mac valve, so you can change your air pressure on that little valve down the bottom. I really like this one though. I have got a couple of others. I've got a real big one. When I say big, I mean 0.5 needle for doing like big acrylic area or something. I want to spray a big surface. And another one with a 0.3 needle I use for acrylics, but acrylics. But I don't know. I can't. I think it's part to do with my climate here. Like I'm in Queensland, Australia. For those of you overseas, don't know where that is. So I'm close. I'm probably about a bit over an hour from Brisbane. I'm out Ipswich way, or past Ipswich. But even though it's winter now, our winters are mild compared to what some of you overseas would have. We don't get snow or anything. My winter, to be honest, our winter is like, if you're lucky, you might get 2 weeks that have mornings around 0 degrees or 4 degrees, something that start the day off that cold. Probably 2 weeks maximum per winter, and it gets up to, like, your high temperature might be 19 degrees. This is Celsius. So yeah, we don't really have much of a winter. In our summer, this is what I tell everyone, we have 9 months of summer and 3 months of spring. Our summers start soon as winter's over and you hit spring. It isn't spring long before you're cracking into the 30s up to 40s. On the really hot days we'll get around 40. So I get that hot temperature, plus we get humidity, like full on humidity, and this I think is my main issue with spraying acrylics. I've tried, when I first got back into the hobby and I first bought airbrushes and that, I started with acrylics. I started with Vallejo's, and these are the ones I've bought. I still got them. I don't know why I don't use them, but this is what I started with. And then, like everyone, when you get back in the hobby, you start off, and then you start venturing into different. I've tried different acrylics, and I just can't get them to keep spraying. You get the needle clogging up, and I've tried every style of thinner for them. I heavily thin them, and it just does my head in, and it just pisses me off. So out with acrylics for airbrushing. I use lacquers, and these aren't lacquer, Tamiya. They're acrylic, but they're not a water-based acrylic. I think they're alcohol or something. I don't know. I don't really give a shit what the chemicals are, just what goes through my airbrush. So Tamiya works, Mr. Hobby, the acrylic Mr. Hobby. Again, that's not a true acrylic, and the lacquer version, Mr. Hobby, and Mr. Color, the lacquer one, and all the other AK Real Color and that style thing, that they just work better for me. So yes, I'm going to give them a big clean up, put them back together, and get them back firing. And my last update is, a lot of his mentioned when I showed my stash, it's a bit eclectic, which I guess I tend to agree. I have a bit of everything, I guess. I suffer from what costs me a lot of money is I don't just I like World War II US Air Force aircraft, something like that. I like everything, so I can't. It'd be a lot cheaper for me if I just like one topic, but that's not the case. So also this time of year I do a clean up of my stash. I thin it out because as you saw, I showed you the stash. It's not. I don't think it's, well. It's, to some it's probably excessive, but to some it's probably small to some people's collections. But so you see, I do kit reviews and that. The new kits I get in, well, every year I clean out so many, because I think, well, at one stage you want to build it, but then something else comes on. I think, well, I'm never going to build that, so I clean out. So I've got about 30 kits, I think, I've cleared out that will be going to. I just hock them off to Tony from Model Nerds. Those of you who know in Australia would know him. QMHE, I just see him there and sell them off to him, and he sells them on again to someone who probably shall build them. So I'll probably do some reviews shortly, seeing I'm not, or the only thing I'm working on at the moment on aircraft wise is, I think I mentioned in my last, I'm doing a little bit of a commission build for someone. I'm going to hook back into that, Simon, if you're watching this, and get hooked into that and finish that one off. I think I mentioned through no fault of his, it's actually, he asked me if I did commission, and I said I don't really do it anymore, but I asked to look at his stash, and I picked out a few kits that I wanted to try, so it sort of gave me more interest in doing it. If you do commission work, which I used to do a fair bit of, for me it was 95% kits that you would never want to build, and the subject matter perhaps you wouldn't build, so you need a real good passion for it to do it. And to be honest, you're not going to make a living out of it. You're kidding yourself if you think, yeah, even if you're a bloody, I don't know, unless you're someone like Night Shift who does the armour, he makes a living out of doing his videos, and that's his job. But to make kits and sell them to make wages and live, for me anyway, that'd be impossible. Plus the time it takes to make a kit, you'd need to pump out 2 a week and be selling for bloody, I don't know, you need to be making a couple of grand a week, which is just not possible unless someone's, anyway, waffling. So recently, last, I don't know, few weeks, I got in some new kits. So this one is a resin kit. So it's a 6-inch Mark 7 gun on a Mark 3 carriage. So World War One British armour, and this I'm thinking ahead to what builds I might be doing for next year's QMHE, and I usually do a few armour, and this time I think I'm doing this, but to be involved somehow with this, just so I can see if that's in the picture, the Holt artillery tractor, towing the gun or having the gun next to it, something like that. So that's something I'm looking at wanting to do. What aircraft I've got in recently, which I will do some reviews. So I got this in. This is the Special Hobby 32nd scale Buckeye, the T2. It's I got this version because of the Hellenic Air Force. Love the colour schemes. It's still the Southeast Asian style camouflage, and if you ever look at their aircraft, they're faded to hell and back from the climate that they're living in. So I got that one, so I'll do a review on that at some stage. And I went totally left field and bought this Royal Air Force SE5A in 24 scale, and no, I just lifted the lid. I haven't really had it out to look at it, but you know, I can blame for this purchase. I was watching the series Dogfights on Foxtel, and I was watching the World War One aircraft one, so that's what's sucking me into that. But what I'm going to look at is I don't know if you can get what style aftermarket in this scale. Might be hard to get aftermarket for, but we'll have a look and see what's available for it, because you'd want to do something probably a bit better with the rigging on that in that scale. Another one that's totally different, and for myself anyway, I blame my mate Norm up in Townsville. He showed me a picture of his collection. He does he does a bit of everything too, but he's got a whole heap of rockets going, like, dating way back, and it looks awesome display. So I thought I'd get one to give it a go. This is from Horizon Models. They're Australian, made in Australia. You don't see that often. Yeah, so they do a lot of different rockets. If you look them up, they got, I don't know much about all the different ones, but they do, I don't know, I think I saw half a dozen at least or so different ones. But this one you got, so it's the Mercury Redstone. So there's 3 different schemes on it. So March 61, May 61 and July 61. But I've got a bit of an idea of how I want to build that, and I want to attempt some bit of LED lighting or something, maybe, if I can. I've never done lighting before. I'm sort of at my stage in my life where I'm sort of wanting to try some different things, bucket list, so to speak, I guess. I did a few this year, and things like that rocket is something that I want to, you know, try a bit of lighting or something different, just to tick it off. Alright, another one I got in, that this is one of those kits I had years ago and I flogged it off, but I'm still fascinated by the aircraft, and I went and bought it again. So you got basically one scheme, but it's 4 different numbered aircraft. So that's was it Republic? I think it's Republic of China Air Force, I think. Apologies if I'm wrong, but you've also got a Thai Air Force, which is nice camouflage scheme, and you also have Argentinian Air Force scheme. This one comes with photo etch for your rigging in the kit, so that you don't need aftermarket. So I'll do a review on that one at some stage. Another eclectic one is this big monster. This is something else I want to try, a civilian ship. Just container ships. Ships are fascinating, the size of them. And I thought, why not go full in and do something that's going to send me around the bend, painting all those containers. And lastly, Airfix have reboxed the Walrus. Again, well, to me, I think it's a fantastic looking aircraft, and I bought this one because we have an Australian Air Force scheme in it. Not sure if the previous boxings, one of them might have had one too, but I like this one's with the camouflage, two-tone camouflage on top, so that will be the scheme I will do. So I'll do a review on that one as well. So that's bit where I'm at. So I'll also work on this, but I can't really put up a video for it until I do the how many hours of scribing I do. It's really not much point starting to video this again until I actually finish all that, so I can show, oh well, here we go, re-scribing's done, because that's about a minute of video. So you know what, I'm not going to video re-scribing it, because this is why I keep my videos pretty, just I tell you about what's going on, that because I find it boring watching someone sitting there paint or re-scribing or something. I don't want to watch that, I just want to know about the kit. So I've done the drop tanks, so I've done all the little access panels and the panel lines, that shiny bit. When I scribe it, I go over it, put a bit of the quick setting extra thin over it, just to get rid of any filings or anything of the plastic, and also just helps clean out the groove of the scribing tool where it went. So I've done the drop tanks, but that's not a lot to them. This is where it starts getting serious, all these panels. That's what I meant to look at too, because the actual aircraft, I don't know if some of these were raised sections on it, but I wouldn't think so, but I don't know. But it's a pretty old, decent old big model when it's together, but quite basic. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it all fits together when I start plugging in the engines and things like that, how it all fits. It's a pretty old tool, that one, I think. Anyway, there you go, that's where I'm at. So yeah, I've not decided yet on what my next video aircraft will be. Seeing I didn't get enough votes for the other two, I'm probably going to pick something else, because I don't really feel like building them yet. I'm going to pick something else out to do, but at the moment, like I said, I'm sort of a bit, because the competition's coming up, I'm sort of sorting things out and cleaning a bit of this and that up, so I'm sort of not focused on what I want to do next, but it shouldn't be too far away. Anyway, thanks for checking in.